Hello friends, my name is Amolu Zagre and I am the author of the book Practical Approach of Software Testing. I have completed my engineering from PICT College in 2010 in Information Technologies, and after that for around 7 years I worked for an IT industry, and since last few years I started taking trainings on Selenium, that is automation testings. Now I am fully into the training. Till now I have trained around more than 200 people in person, and almost more than 90% of them have managed to switch their jobs or they got the promotions in their own company. And my style of teaching is quite simple. Actually, I like the simple things. So what I do is, if I find anything difficult, I first simplify it, and unless I convinced that now this looks simple, I don't teach it to anybody. So whatever things I've learned in automation testing, Selenium and API testing, I have everything I've simplified. The way I have made everything simple, I am putting it in the same way in front of you. My another specialty is I conduct training with each and everyone individually. I first understand my students' learning style and his or her understandings, and based on that I adjust my teaching style. Second advantage doing training with me is I am quite approachable. So my students can always be in touch with me for any kind of queries during the trainings or even after the trainings as well. So what do I teach? Selenium, Cucumber, then API testings. So if you want to learn Selenium with me, by the way, I conduct the trainings in Pune. So if you want to learn these automation testings with me, you can contact me on the given details. Thank you very much.
Hello guys, I'm back today. So today we are going to deal with the JMeter and SoapUI tool, right? So I hope you liked the yesterday's session, and now today we will start with our session quickly without wasting the time. Fine. So now today we are going to discuss about API testing and JMeter. Fine. So we are going to see why API, then what are web services, then introduction to SoapUI tool, downloading and installation of SoapUI, then calculator API, testing of the calculator API, what is JMeter, its installation and some small demonstration of it. Okay, so how to download JMeter, and we will install it and we will do a demonstration of it. Fine. So now why API? Okay, for that let me give you one example. MakeMyTrip.com. So you know this website, MakeMyTrip.com. What you can do on this site, you can do airline booking, you can do railway ticket booking, you can do hotel booking, right? And for example, let's say you're doing airline booking, and during your airline booking you can do different airlines ticket booking. So for example, Air India, then Indigo, EasyGo, right? So this MakeMyTrip.com is having the facility to book the tickets from different airlines like Air India, Indigo, and EasyGo. Similarly, from MakeMyTrip.com, you can also book the railway tickets, and you can also do some hotel bookings as well, right? But you can observe that the same things that you do on MakeMyTrip.com, you can see, you can do the same things on these individual websites like Air India, Indigo, EasyGo, right? So now actually the question is how the things or how the bookings that we do either on Indigo or on MakeMyTrip.com can have the same reflection. Because you see, if I book the ticket on MakeMyTrip.com, this Indigo website is also getting the knowledge that I have booked my ticket, right? And even if I book my ticket on this Indigo site, then MakeMyTrip also get the knowledge that how many tickets are booked and whether we have vacancy for that particular seat or not, right? So how this is happening? So let's say, so booking, cancel booking are the functionalities defined in Indigo website, right? So all these functionalities are actually defined in the Indigo websites, but from the MakeMyTrip.com, we have access to all those functions, just like booking a ticket or canceling the booking, right? So how it can be done? So one wild guess is that Indigo website must have exposed or given access to its own database and functions, right? So whatever application written for the Indigo website, they have given the access in public. But this is actually practically not possible. Nobody will expose their database and functionality and every different functions of their code. They will not expose this to the public, right? This is practically not possible. Also, there is a security threat if they have their database public or exposed to public, then they have a security threat in that case. Another issue is that if suppose this MakeMyTrip.com is written in Java language and Indigo website is written in PHP language, right? So how the methods written inside this MakeMyTrip.com can give a call to the code or anything written in this Indigo website, which is written in PHP, right? So now let me explain you with this example. Suppose you go to a hotel and there is a kitchen, right? And if suppose you go to some other state or a place where you don't understand the language of their people, right? And if suppose you want to order something from your hotel, so how will you do that? So there will be a waiter who knows the language of the kitchen people as well as you, right? What he will do, he will take your order and he will give that order to kitchen, and whatever response he get from the kitchen, he will revert it back to us, right? So now in this case we have we are known with this language 1, and this kitchen people are knowing this another language, and this waiter is doing the job of translating my language to the kitchen people and kitchen people's language to me, right? So in this way, this waiter is in between me and the kitchen, and it is helping me to convey my request to the kitchen people, and it is also getting the response from this kitchen and giving it back to me. Fine. So now similar thing is there in this application 1 and application 2. This application 1 is MakeMyTrip.com and this application 2 is Indigo, and the web service does this job to communicate between one application to another application, right? It takes the request from one application, it gives that request to the another application, and when this another application gives some response, it gives back to the first application. So it takes the input from first application, it sends it to application 2, and then it replies back, right? So this is how it happens. This is how actually this is what the role of the web service is. Okay, so now, so why we are learning this as a tester? We have seen that yesterday we saw that we do testing either manually or with the help of some tools. We call it as automation testing, right? And you can observe that while testing, we check whether we are getting the actual result same as the expected or not, right? So similarly, in API testing, we are going to check web services for its request and response, right? So don't worry if you are feeling that there are so many technical terms are involved now. I'll going to demonstrate you very simple web service and its simple way to test it. So what I'll do is I'll show you one tool that will help us to see this web service actually. As a tester, we should have a knowledge of testing the web service only, right? So you don't have to worry about how these web services are developed, right? Just in case if you know, that's enough, that's fine. But even if you don't know how these web services are developed, you don't have to worry about it. You just need to know what request this web service is giving and what is the response that you're getting, right? Fine. So I'll show you one tool that will help us to test the web services, right? So that tool is SOAP UI. So before that, we will see one calculator web service. So you can simply search on Google calculator API. Okay, so here it is, you can see. It is getting opened. Side by side, I'll also open the SOAP UI tool download. So UI tool download. Okay, so the calculator web service is open. Actually, this is just information, or this is just website or web page where there is information about this calculator web service, and here there is a service description. Click on that and you will see this web service, right? So this is actually a web service. So generally what the developers do, they take this web service and based on this they develop their own application, right? So this web service don't have any user interface, right? So they simply have some operations, right? So don't worry again if you're seeing this code and if you're not understanding it, right? So I'm just going to import this into the SOAP UI tool and you'll see how easy it is, right? So now again in this URL you must observe that here there is WSDL written. So Web Services Description Language. Its full form is Web Services Description Language. Okay. So actually it is pronounced as WSDL. Let me just write some notes for you. WSDL. This is Web Services Description Language. Okay, it is pronounced as like this, WSDL. Okay, so this is a web service. So to test this web service, we are going to download a tool that is SOAP UI. So I've searched it for on the net, and you can get this download link over here. Okay, so sure, I'll be putting all the web links into the notepad. Again, this, but you don't actually need it. You can simply search over Google and you will get it. But still, I have given you for the notes, right? So this is the download page of SOAP UI, and here you can see there is SOAP UI Pro version and SOAP UI open source, right? So you can click on this open source and simply download it. Actually, I have already downloaded and installed it, so I will not actually download and install it. I'll just showing you how to download this, right? So when you click on this, a download will start in some movements, and after that you will have to install it, right? So installation is again a simple thing. You just have to open it and say click next, 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 and it will get installed. Okay, fine. So after installation, you will have its icon over a desktop. So here it is. I have also pinned it onto my taskbar. So I'm opening this SOAP UI tool. Yes. Okay, let me just close this. So once you will download and install it, so first time you will not see such a things. Actually, I have created so many projects over here, right? So it will be blank here, right? So we are going to create a new project for this calculator SOAP UI, right? So calculator is actually a SOAP service. So there are two ways to create a project or a SOAP project. Either you can click on this file and say new SOAP project, or you can click here SOAP, create new SOAP project. Okay, so this kind of window will open, and I'll name here let's say calculator UI or calculator API. Okay, and I'll paste this URL here. The URL is here. Okay, fine, and click here. Actually, no need to click here right now. Say okay, and here you can see the project is open. So let me just magnify it for you, right? So this is the project that have been created, and here you can see there are different operations: add, divide, multiply, subtract. Now you'll observe that here there are two things: calculator SOAP and calculator SOAP 1.2. So what are these two things, right? So actually this is from version 1 and this is version 1.2, right? So you can use any of them, but better I'll use this 1.2 version, right? So here you can observe add, divide, multiply, and subtract. So what this SOAP UI tool have done, it has actually distributed all the web services, right? For example, just observe here it is. So this is the add. This code is actually for addition of the two numbers, right? So you can see here there is a subtract, and there are so many services over here. So all those services the SOAP UI tool have bifurcated, and you can see here add, divide, multiply, and subtract. So let's open each and every service one by one. Okay, so click on this plus sign and double click on this request. Okay, so here you can see, so like this. Okay, fine. Actually this is a free tool, right? If you download let me just show you. There is actually one question by somebody. Just let me show you. When you go on the download page, you will see two things: download SOAP UI Pro and download SOAP UI open source. If you download this SOAP UI open source, this will be free for forever. Just there will be some limitation that few of the functionalities you will be not able to do, but if you download this, so this will be a trial version and it will work for only 14 days. Okay, so if you download this, there is no issue, you can use it for lifetime. Fine, so let's just continue. So I have opened this add request, and here you can see two question marks. So don't worry, what is this inside the code? Just look at this. So here there are two question marks. This is a addition request. So here I am putting two numbers, 20 and let's say 20. So this service is going to help me to do the addition of these two numbers, right? So I am hitting this request. Here there is a play button and I am hitting or submitting this request. Okay, so you can see here there is a response. This is a request, and upon hitting this request I got this response, and this is actually the result, 40. Okay, so 20 plus 20, 40. So our result is 40. Similarly, let's check another web service, another request. Actually, web service is this only one. Under that, there are different requests. So divide. I'm double clicking on divide. You can see here again there are two question marks. There are two inputs. This web service is taking. Let's suppose first one is 50 and second one is 2. So if 50 is divided by 2, you will get 25. So let's just see, right? So this is 25. This is the division. So in this way you can see the request and its response. I'm doing it manually, right? So there are some ways with the help of which we can test this SOAP UI through automation as well, but that is the latter part. Let's just understand first the basics of it, right? So manually you can see this web service is working exactly as it should work, right? So 50 by 2 is 25. Okay, so now next is multiply. Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to type all the steps once. Let me just demonstrate you once. Okay, so after that I'll type each and every step, and also I will share it to you. By the way, yesterday's video I have posted on the YouTube, and it's in its description you'll get all my yesterday's notes as well as some required links and all that. Okay, so now multiply. So 3 into, let's suppose 5, it is 15, right? And the last one is subtract. Let's suppose 50 and 10, it should give me 40. Okay, right. So don't worry, I'm going to write each and every steps that I have done, right? So this was just a demonstration, and I'm just writing all the steps. So now what we have done, search on Google for calculator API, calculator API, and you will get this link. Okay, then search on Google for SOAP UI tool, download. Okay, so you can get it on this link. Third one is download the free version. It's free for lifetime. Just few functionalities are not accessible, but you can do so many things. And do so many things with free version. Okay, so downloaded it and then install it. Right. Okay, now next step is create a SOAP request, create a SOAP project, create new SOAP project. Okay, so this you can do in two ways. Either click on SOAP icon, which is here, or you can click on file and say new SOAP project, or click on file and say new SOAP request. Okay, then next step is, so now the next step is file. When you will say new SOAP project, a new window will appear. Give project name and visual URL. New window or dialog box will appear and give project name and WSDL URL. Okay, so in our case it is this. Let's say calculator. You can give any name. You can even use spaces in between. There is no issue. Then you have WSDL URL. Okay. So now, then there will be these two versions you can see. Project will be created with two versions. Choose the 1.2 version. Then expand individual request and try it. Okay, I think that's enough. Fine. So these are the steps that you should do. Okay. So now, so our job is to test these web services, right? So here to test, you should understand few more things, right? So while testing, so now testing the web service, right? So for testing, you should get the test suite, then test case, then test step. Okay, so test suite you can create like this. Right click and say new test suite. I'll give just the same name, test suite, and inside this you have to create a test case, new test case, right? So let's suppose test case 1 I'll say, and inside this test case we will write some test steps. So right click, add steps, SOAP request, and let's suppose addition. Okay, so we have created the steps and we need to map it, right? So here you will get the rest of the services. So click on the add request and say okay. Click on this create optional create content in a sample request. Okay, so now one more step I'll create. Let's suppose this step is for subtraction. Okay, so we need to map this for the subtraction. Okay, and say create. So when you double click on it, so it will open, right? So you'll say what is the difference by doing it here and here. So here also we have done the same thing for addition, and here also we are doing the same thing for addition. So here you can observe there is a plus button over here, right? So when you click on this plus button, you can get one window, and here you can write some assertions, right? So you can predefine something that is upon firing this query whether your test is getting passed or not, right? So you can either click here or click here on assertion plus, and let's suppose there is one assertion property content contents. Okay, so if suppose I am going to add this 50 and 20, so of course my response I should get 70, right? So clicking on plus sign, I'll choose contents. Let's suppose check response. You can give any name to it, and let's suppose whether it contains the 70 in the response or not, right? So I'm putting it. So until the result is unknown, because I have not fired this query. So now I have fired this query, and here you can see check response is valid, right? So since it contains 70 in the response, so because of which this is passed. So if suppose in case I have put some wrong expected thing, so you can see this response is failed. It says that missing token 71 in the response. So it was expected that there should be a 71 in the response, but there is 70 in the response. So like that there are so many. So let me just correct this. So like that there are so many assertions in this tool, and you can do many things with the help of this tool, right? So just in one session, just the one session is not enough to explain this tool, but I hope you might have got a good idea about this tool, right? So for the steps, don't worry, you are going to get this recorded video afterwards, so you can again watch the steps that I've done and you can do the same. But so many things I have already written for you, right? So the other notes or other steps also I'll be providing you by some other way. I'll put it in the description, don't worry. Fine. So this was all about the SOAP UI tool, and it was used to test the web services, right? So fine. So one more tool we are going to see, and it is called as JMeter, right? So the next tool I'm going to talk about is the JMeter. So let's just continue. The tool JMeter. Okay, so this tool JMeter is basically used for performance testing. Okay, so this tool is basically used for performance testing. And what is performance testing? To check or to test the response of your application. So how is the performance, right? So let me give you one example to know more about this performance testing. Actually, let's suppose amazon.com. So you might have observed so many times Amazon keeps a sale. Let's suppose some festival sales like Diwali sale, or some 15 August sale, right? So what they do, they advertise rigorously, and crores of people are eager to purchase something on Amazon, right? So if suppose let's say this is a 15 August sale, and for some product there are discounts on Amazon website, right? So you can observe on 15th August there will be a huge load, right? So let me just open up Amazon site for you, amazon.in. Okay, so if suppose now see, opening this website and checking the functionality of it, this is normal simple testing. But checking this website with some specific load, let's suppose 1,000 users are hitting this website at a time, or if suppose 1 lakh users are hitting this website at a time. So that is a performance testing, to check whether this application is working exactly as per the requirement or not, right? It should not get crashed, right? Because this website is meant for some particular for bearing some particular load, right? So again, you can see here there is some sale is coming, right? So in 32 hours a new sale is going to come. So lots of people are going to rush on this website, and there will be huge crowd on this site, and it should not get crashed, because if it gets crashed then Amazon will lose business, right? So for that you should do its performance testing very well in advance. So it means that for checking performance performance of the website, you should have you should check with multiple users, say 1,000 approx, or you may need to check with more than 1,000 people, right? So you should check with the multiple users, say 1,000 or 1 lakh approximately. So how will you do that? One way is manually keep 1,000 people on a machine and ask them to hit. Is it a good way? I'm sure it not, because this much manpower will cost us, right? So there are some tools in the market that helps us to create some threads that acts like a user, and performs the same test. So different tools are like Load Runner, it is by HP, Load Runner, and also there are so many tools, but those are paid. So JMeter is the tool. JMeter is the tool which is free and it is Java based. As it is Java based, so it means that it is platform independent. Okay, so it is platform independent, means you can use it on Windows or Linux or any Mac OS or any OS you can use. Some tools are there, those works on specific operating system only, right? So this is the JMeter tool. So now let's download JMeter. I will not say install, you don't need to install. No need to install. Just download. But there is a prerequisite. You should have Java installed on your machine. Okay, so let's download the JMeter. Fine. So simple search on Google, download JMeter, right? So many people are asking me to give me the URLs, but I will suggest you don't trust on those URLs. The URLs go on changing, keeps on changing, because if the version changes, the URL also get changed. So rely on Google. So you can simply say or search download JMeter, you will get such a result. So JMeter is by Apache, right? So you can open this website and here you'll see. So here you can see Apache JMeter, it requires Java 8 plus, right? So currently its version is 5.3. Later on it will be something else, but the core functionality is not going to change, right? So here there are two links, out of which you have to select one. If you are on Windows, it's better to use this link. Click on this and it will be downloaded. So actually I have already downloaded it, so I will not download it, right? So download and keep it at some location. This is a zip file. Of course you need to unzip it. So let me just see. I have already unzipped it. So here it is JMeter. Here it was the zip file, and here I have unzipped it. Okay. So now here I'm opening it. Here there is a folder bin. Inside this bin folder, you will observe this Apache JMeter jar. Right. Let me just maximize it for you. Right. So this is the icon, Apache JMeter jar. You double click on it. Simply you double click on it, and it will get started. Yes, it is started. It is opened. Right. So it look like this. Right. So here there are so many icons you can see. There are so many functionalities here, but I am just going to show you a quick demo of a website, and let's just have some introduction and let's just see how this helps us to do the performance testing, right? So I would like to ask you to download or install one more extension. It is BlazeMeter. Okay, so let me just download it or write down it. So third thing is install BlazeMeter extension in your Chrome. Okay, so what is this we are going to see is, so BlazeMeter extension. Okay, so BlazeMeter extension, you should right. Okay, so you should see chrome.google.com, right? So the URL should start like this, chrome.google.com, and open this. As I have already installed it, so I'm not getting the install icon here. So when you will open, you will see this install this plugin, right? Or install this extension. You click on it and it will be installed, right? So after installation, you will see in your Chrome such icon, a red icon, right? So let me zoom it more. So this is the icon for BlazeMeter. So initially you need to so actually I have already logged on. So can I do sign out? Okay, I think I cannot simply do so, but just remember that when you will install this extension you have to sign in. Okay, so install BlazeMeter extension, sign it, sign in into it. You can sign in with Google credentials as well. Fine. So let's just see a website, Blaze demo. This is just a simple website. So let's just automate this, right? So what we'll do is we'll click on this and we'll say record. Before that, we will write some name to it. So let's say demo class today. So this is just a name and I'm clicking on it, say start recording. And now I'm choosing some departure city, or I'm doing some activities here, find flights, choose a flight. Okay, write some data into it. Okay, and say purchase the flight. Okay, so this operation is done. So I'm stopping this and let's just see. You can click on this save. We are going to save this recorded test and we are going to import that into the JMeter. So you can see here there is a JMeter JMX file. So click on this and you will observe that which website we worked. It was blazedemo.com. So you download it. So just in a moment it will get downloaded. Okay, yes, here it is. So I'll put at some good location. So let me just put it somewhere here. Okay, so now go to the JMeter file, open, give the path, and here you see demo class today and click on open. Okay, so here the test is opened and here you can see these tests. So these are the steps that we have done. So we were on the reservation page, then we were on the purchase page, and after clicking on the submit button we got this confirmation page, right? So here there are so many things. You just don't worry right now. So later on we will come to know when you will do some practice or practice over the JMeter, you will come to know what are these things. But just for having an introduction to it, you just see these are the 3 steps we have done. So initially we were on the reservation page. Here you can see the URL of it, and then we did the purchase operation, then we got the confirmation operation. So here a thread group is already created. So here you can see the number of threads. So here you can actually generate the virtual users. So let's suppose I am doing it for 50 users. The next is ramp up period in seconds. So I'll put it as 5. So why this ramp up period? Because see, even if you use manual 50 people and you ask them to do or hit some website, they will not do exactly at the same time. So what I'm doing is I'm giving some time, like in the 5 seconds all these 50 people will come on that site or will do the subsequent operations, right? So loop count, how many times you have to do this. So let's suppose I'm doing it only once, right? So 50 people will come and those will do these 3 steps. So now again, if we run this, we are not going to see any output, right? So we should see whether the tests are passed or not. For that, there are so many listeners, so out of which one we will see. Right click on this thread group or right click on this test, say add listener and say view result tree, right? So when you will create this request, you will see the result over here. So what is happening, you can observe it over here. So now I'm going to hit this request and I'll keep this view result tree open. So let's just see. Okay, let me stop this. I'll have to do one more thing. here it is. So specify the thread lifetime, right? So we will not allow them for running for so much time. Let's just give it for 15 seconds, right? So this is the duration. So duration after this 15 seconds, it will be terminated automatically, right? So now we'll start executing this, and we'll keep a watch on this. Let me just remove this, okay, because we are seeing the older result. Okay, now we'll just run this and we'll see the fresh result. See, the threads are running, so multiple users are working at a time and different operations are happening. So see, here you can see some red icons are there and some green icons are there. So red one are failed things. So I think yes, the test execution is completed. So you choose any one of them. So just like this, and here you can see there is the output. So this is the sampler result. So this was the request that was sent, right? And this was the response we got. Okay, this is the response header, right? So actually generally 200 okay is good thing, good indication that the request is run successfully. And here you can see there is one operation failed inside this reservation. During this reservation, you can see there is no response data here, and the request was this executing, or while opening this CSS file, it failed actually, right? So fine. So 50 users are all the 50 users are not able to work on that particular URL very smoothly. Actually, just in order to know that this website is taking a good load, you can observe this. But this is quite fine. Just 3-4 threads are failing. That's okay out of 50, right? So you may put your load, right, and you can check this in this result, right? So this is one kind of listener. You can see there are so many listeners with the help of which you can have different parameters, and using which you can monitor different result in different format, right? So sometimes you will get the response time and all that. So for that you need to learn all the listeners from this JMeter. Okay, so actually this was all about just the introduction of this JMeter tool. Fine. So this was what we were planned for this workshop today. So today we have done SOAP UI tool and JMeter. So start putting if you have any questions, please. Any questions on SOAP UI, JMeter, or anything you want to ask me? Selenium, manual testing, or related to your career? I am open. Let me just know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer. Can we use a JMeter tool on any website? Yes, Sanket. We can use JMeter on any website. Right? Earlier, there was one question I missed actually. Mangwani is saying, is JMeter and BlazeMeter work in the same way? Yes, but BlazeMeter is actually paid. Actually, I have just used a part of the BlazeMeter just in order to avoid few things in the JMeter. Right? Actually, if I don't use that BlazeMeter, our session might have been 1 hour more, because let me just quickly show you. If I don't use this BlazeMeter, I need to everything do it manually, right? So I need to create this project, and then I need to create the thread, I need to create the tests, these steps, right? So everything I needed to do it manually, right? So as you know, I am an automation guy, I am a shortcut guy, so I try to do everything in a shortcut way. Okay, so any more queries? How to enter into automation testing as a career? Geeta Desai. Geeta, I have actually already told you yesterday, but still I'll repeat my same answer. Just if you want to enter into the automation testing field, you should have the basic knowledge of software testing. You should have the knowledge of all the basics, basic concepts or theoretical parts, as well as practically how to write test cases and all that. For that, you can simply follow my playlist on YouTube. It is free. You will get around 20 to 25 videos. In the yesterday's sessions recording that I have already posted on YouTube, you will get that playlist in the description of that video. And then you can learn any automation testing tool, because just learning the manual testing is not enough. Pallavi says SOAP UI session is really helpful. Need more time for SOAP UI and REST UI. Thank you, Pallavi. Then Pooja says, sir, except JMeter, what are the other tools? Pooja, you will see a hell lot of tools for automation testing, but those will be paid, right? And industry requires to do some cost cuttings, right? So instead of getting the expensive paid tool, they will prefer to get some free tools and good manpower, right? So still there are some tools like JMeter, you have Load Runner, then you have TestLink, then you have UFT, right? So there are so many tools. Okay, then Prachivari, how can we deploy automation suite on Tomcat server? Prachi, actually this is a long procedure. I'll suggest you to give me or send me an email. I'll try to help you out. You know my email ID is amol at scriptinglogic.com. Okay, then Kalyani, can we use RESTful services? Yes, Kalyani, we can use RESTful services in both JMeter as well as the SOAP UI tool. Then Gayatri Chaudhary says, hello sir, does JMeter simulate the actual browser behavior? Yes, Gayatri, actually it simulates the actual browser behavior, but it is a headless. Headless means you don't see the operation being happened, but everything is happening in the background, right? So just request and response things are happening, but yes, it is exactly simulating the actual browser behavior. Manoj Kumar says, can we test any website performance without their permission? If suppose you are using a Facebook, right? You are logging into it, you are trying some different operations, right? Manually. So you are actually ultimately testing the things. Just in case if you are using some automation, actually Gmail is very strict about this. If you try to automate or if you try to write a Selenium script for Gmail, it will not allow you to. It will give you or put you a hell lot of restrictions during the automating. But there are so many websites, just unless and until those websites have intentionally put some security patches, then only you can have some restriction while executing or automating. Poonam Batra says, so SOAP is the only manual testing and JMeter is for automation. No, it's not like that. SOAP is also for automation. Actually, there is a provision you can write a script in Groovy. Groovy is another language with the help of which you can automate the SOAP tests as well as REST API test as well. And both you can do it in the SOAP UI tool. And JMeter is also automation tool. So both SOAP UI and JMeter are the automation testing tool. You can see that. Any other session on REST API? Pallavi says, right now I have not planned anything, but maybe in future. You guys, you please subscribe to my channel so that you will get notification when I put any videos or any relevant information about software testing, right? You just stay connected with me, not only with my YouTube channel, you can stay in touch with my website as well. And also I have given my social media links as well, right? You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and other LinkedIn, other platforms as well, and you can take any help from me. Kavjit, which programming language is better for Selenium currently for quick learning? For quick learning, actually, Java is quite there, but Python is again a very good language, because you'll see the code is 50% less in Python, right? So you'll be easily able to learn the Python, but I'll prefer you to learn the Java, right? Because Java will be used at so many places. Okay. So the next, .NET, which tool provided automation testing? The Selenium can be implemented in .NET as well, right? So C hash, we say Selenium with C hash, you can implement it. Vedvyas, please give some open source testing tools. Vedvyas, this JMeter was open source. Selenium is the open source testing tool. Again, TestLink is an open source bug reporting tool. Mantis is open source. Let me just list it down. Open source tools used in software testing. One we saw Selenium, then we saw JMeter. You have TestLink for writing, maintaining test cases. Then we have Mantis for bug reporting. Okay. Manisha Tikra, is there any quiz? Yes. I hope you have marked your attendance on the given link. Actually, that was activated after the starting of the session. And yes, there will be a quiz. You might get a link on either on mail or in the video description or some. And you have to just attempt that test, and you will get the certificate automatically, right? But guys, I request you to please make a note. That link will create only 100 certificates per day, right? So please don't just rush to contact to the concerned people. Okay, I'm not got the certificate. Actually, that allows only 100 certificates per day, right? So it just in case if you're not if you're not able to get the certificate today, you may get it the next day, right? For 3 to 4 days, you can try for that. Poonam Batra says, sir, can you tell in short which different web services we can test on SOAP? Poonam, calculator is one of them that I have shown you. There are different web services that you can get over the net. I have some web services. You can email me. I'll provide you some web services that you can test. Any more questions? Guys, please forgive me if I missed any questions. I'm trying to attend each and every question, but just in case if I miss any question, you please ask me on my email. So I think I have answered so many questions. If you still have any questions, please ask me over my email, right? And one more thing I would like to tell you before closing this session. Actually, I am conducting so many courses, online courses, right? So out of which a new batch is going to start on coming Monday, right? So it will be Selenium plus Cucumber with Java. Then it will be a live training with easy explanations. I'll be teaching complete core Java from scratch in that, and you will get the access to the premium pre-recorded sessions for a lifetime. There are 2 demo classes free. Fees for the training is 10,000. You can pay it in installments. First installment 5,000 while joining, another installment 5,000 in next month, or if you pay it one time, you can pay 9,500. And the next upcoming batch is on 15th of June 2020. It will be Monday to Friday, daily 9 to 10 p.m. and its duration will be 2 months. So if you want to contact us for live online training, you can go to our website or you can call or WhatsApp on these numbers. This is my number and this is Kalyani, the student counselor. You can call her. You can get the details of the course if you require any. Okay, fine. Then I'm done with this session. So now Snehal madam want to say something. So, Snell, madam. Yes, madam, you are live.
Uh, Good evening, all. Thank you, sir, for such a great session. It's really great that this workshop turned out to a very successful. I, Snehal Dhane, faculty in MCA SIBA, I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of Srinagar Institute of Business Administration and Research to all the people who made this event successful. I would like to take a minute and thank all of them. First and foremost, I extend my gratitude towards management of Sihagar Technical Education Society. A very big thank you to our guest speaker, Mr. Amol Ujagre sir, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this occasion and enlighten us with this knowledge. The session was very informative and interesting. It gave an insight into the software testing and tools. So talk about the different types of testings with examples. Also, in software testing, we talk about manual testing, automation tools, Selenium, testing the web services, SOAP UI, and JMeter. I'm grateful to thank Dr. Netra Patil Madam, Director of CIBAR, for organizing this great event which allow us to update our knowledge on software testing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Last but not least, thank you all of you, the participants, for actively participating in this workshop. It has a great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, sir.